Hello and welcome to the Dead Air Dudes. I'm Izzy.
Welcome to the Dude Nation. I'm Raka, and it is upon us, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm not talking about Halloween, which is coming. It is the week. Actually, we are a few days away from New York Comic Con, the big granddaddy of Comic Cons in the metropolitan.
Yeah, depending what time you guys are hearing this, today is Tuesday. We're literally 2 days away from New York Comic Con 2024, and we're gonna try to break it down for you as best as possible, going through each day, giving you the highlights and the lowlights, as well as give you a quickie survival guide, as we always tend to do. All right, Rocco. And anything that really piqued your interest this year, really quick?
There's a couple of big names. There's a couple of series and shows that are coming out. There's some interesting panels, some observations, and obviously we are your resource for some merch giveaways, and you can look up. There's a couple of meetups for different cosplay huge fans. But
Did it?
first and foremost, one of the things that did grab me is there's a decline in the number of comic book publishers and houses that are attending, as unfortunately it's becoming more of a commercial event.
Yeah. Well, to to piggyback off that, we've been talking about this even last year and probably the year before. How DC, since they moved their main offices from New York to the east from the East Coast to the West Coast, they haven't really been much of a presence at New York Comic Con. Now you have some obviously some creators that will be there from DC. You have Jim Lee, you have a lot of other creators who will be there, which we'll get into later on. But it's a shame that you always could see DC had a big booth. They would always have another. They would always would show either exhibit their new movie coming out. The last time they were there, they actually had a surprise um like a signature opportunity with in Birds of Prey, Harley Quinn Birds of Prey, which no joke, as I was leaving, I actually saw Margot Robbie and everyone was freaking out and it was a grand old time. But yeah. But besides that, as far as Marvel, they will be there, but I don't think it will be as big of a presence as it was last year. They have a big booth. They actually just came back last year. Before that, obviously COVID and everything else. Image has not come back since before COVID. Okay. Dark Horse has not come back since before COVID. You have Boom Studios. I do believe has not doesn't have a booth there either. You have smaller imprints like Mad Cave. You have Sumerian. You have oh boy, I'm sorry if I miss anybody who will be there. And you have obviously the whole indie publishing, the whole like right in the middle of the floor. If I missed anyone, I apologize. But you don't have that presence. You still have a lot of comic book fans. You have a lot of comic book resellers, but you don't have the big boys like we used to. So yeah,
No big boys, and a lot of them cite skyrocketing prices that Jacob Javis levies on them. And then if there's anything else other than that, maybe they don't want to divulge it, but it's a shame. There will be a few other exhibits, like you said, of smaller houses that are there. Um, Ghost Machine, Bad Egg Publishing,
yeah, and those are
Penny
yeah,
Arcane.
those are offshoots of. I mean, I guess you could say they're offshoots of Image and
They
off,
are.
but that's totally on their own dime. It's not, Image slash Skybound won't be there. I remember
And
that
it's a shame
we had
because
a huge. Sorry to cut you off. We had a huge Walking Dead banner, which was probably around the ending of the Walking Dead, the
it
comic.
hasn't ended yet.
So,
I
yeah,
mean, yes, they keep going on. Norman Reedus was there obviously because the launch of his offshoot, his second offshoot with the Book of Carol. Um, so he will be there. I'll have the day in a little bit, but it's a shame because San Diego Comic-Con, the first
Yeah,
Comic-Con,
we'll
all
get that.
started.
The
Yeah,
walking.
it all started as a comic book convention. That's what it is, which is a shame because that's where small houses, big houses, independent guys all get together to showcase their stuff. And for all the hardcore comic book fans to gather, buy merch, see their writers, see their ink guys, see the publishing houses, get some signatures, meet up with people, and totally geek out. It's a shame that things, you know, devolve, if you want to say, into that, and a lot of the glitz and glam take over.
But to a degree, you can't blame the publishers. Do you think Disney wants to put all this money into Marvel to them to show up at New York Comic Con when they have movies they're making and send all of their talent there? No. Do you think Warner Brothers, DC, James Gunn, and all them people want to freaking do it? No, but even then, it was just announced last week. We have on Thursday, of course, which would have been normally that would have been on a Saturday or a Friday. You have the Penguin. The Penguin extended sneak peek with conversations with Colin Farrell and the cast. You have Milan. You're gonna have also what's the face Falcone and some of the cast, Clancy Brown, and some of the cast will be there. Of course. See, here's the rub. They'll be there in conversation. They'll be there in the panel, but there are no signatures. There are no autographs. There's no high, no buy. You get there if you get there early enough. Always get there. Quick pro tip: 15 to 20 minutes before the the panel starts, so you can make sure. Because even if you have a reservation, if you're not there on time, you're asked out. Okay, and for those who
Now,
don't
with
know,
that said,
you're gonna
they,
miss.
they are doing different things. Like DC is going to use it to launch Absolute Comic Line.
Which, by the way, if you have not, not to get into comicdom, but if you have not read or seen Absolute Batman, it is an absolute must buy. Buy it now. Go now and buy it and read it and enjoy it. The Absolute Universe is something where they have taken their heroes and they've taken all of their uh armor per se. They have taken all of their advantages, and they are the underdogs in this universe, world slash whatever, where Batman is not rich. He's not a millionaire. His mother's alive. His father's dead, and he is a bodybuilder, huge mofo. He's
He
not
is Jack.
exactly, and he's an engineer who's intelligent, and his suit, yeah, you have to see it. Great stuff. And I've heard very good things about Absolute Wonder Woman and very good things about Absolute Superman. But back to Comic Con.
No, but that's a good thing. Again, primarily for all the comic book heads out there, you know, we're bringing you that stuff, um, and all comic book stuff. One of which is also Bad Egg Publishing. So there, if you find them, I had to tell someone. I'm gonna dig
The
through my
bad
stuff.
egg or bad idea? Which one? Which
Bad
one?
idea. I'm sorry, not bad idea. Bad idea. They are doing every day a free giveaway, which includes comic books, merch, and call me crazy because I call them crazy because I think they're going to have a riot on their hands. Saturday, I believe they're giving out free pizza.
Well, I mean, they might have it. Well, maybe five pies, and give everyone a little sliver of a piece. I mean, I
But
doubt.
I do credit their marketing. Okay, so
No,
every day for
Saturday,
1 hour.
impossible, impossible. That will be.
I know. For every day for 1 hour though, 3 o'clock on Thursday, 3 o'clock on Friday, 1 o'clock on Saturday, and I believe 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock on Sunday. You got to fact check that one. They will give away stuff, but it's a lure, obviously, and give them all the credit in the world because as a startup, as trying to evolve, as trying to make a name, stamp their name in the business, they're going to give away stuff. Everybody loves free stuff, but I've seen some of their stuff. I kind of like it. I dig it. I see where they're going. For you guys out there, you're going to head there. Free, free, free. That's the name of the game. Speaking of free, Raka will be there on Friday.
Dun, dun, dun.
And if you find me, not only will I have some stickers and giveaway for you, but I have an offshoot free book that's a romance novel based on Comic Con. and I'll be handing them out. Take a picture. We'll put up on our Instagram and our TikTok feeds and everything else. And if you are also a fellow creator, let us know. We can exchange ideas. We can get you on our podcast. We can interview you. We can circulate you and pump you through all of our social media as well.
Exactly. Be there. Rocka does romance. Okay. Now let's get into really quick, day per day, the highlights, at least what we might see. All right, at 11 a.m. on Thursday, the main stage, Apple TV presents Shrinking. If you have not seen the show, it's very funny, great acting. Stars Jason Segel, Harrison Ford, and a pretty funny cast. So check that out. Obviously, they'll be there, but like I mentioned with the aforementioned freaking Penguin, you probably can't touch them. You probably can't get autographs and or signatures. If you want to take a video or a picture from far away, do so at your leisure. I mentioned also the Penguin, same time, unfortunately, at 11 a.m. at the Empire stage. Now, the Empire stage and the main stage, if you guys don't know, they're the two biggest stages. Then followed, I think, by 409, I think is the third biggest room or panel room. Okay. At 12:30, you have the cast of Starship Troopers, which has everyone. You have you're gonna have Denise Richards, you have Carson Van Dien, Dina Meyer, Michael Ironside, you have Terry Gilliam, you have just about everyone who's everyone except for Busey. Jake Busey's not there, but that's besides the point. All right, you have Anne Rice, Mayfair Witches, season 2, advanced premiere screening and panel. 12:45 at the main stage. Then you have at 2 o'clock a conversation with Josh Brolin. Okay, one of the main attractions of New York Comic Con this year. Superstar Josh Brolin. Okay, we move moving on. We have at 3 o'clock HBO's Dune: The Prophecy. I do believe it's a series. If you're a fan of Dune, that's right up your alley at the Empire stage. We have Busted Behind the Scenes of Phineas and Ferb. At 3:30, room 405. There's Adult Swim, Rick and Morty, season 8 sneak peek at 4:45 on the main stage.
Rick and Morty.
Also at 4:45 in the Empire stage, Netflix presents The Electric State. Now, this is I do believe it's a new movie. I do believe it's one of the Chris's, either Pratt or Evans, along with Millie Bobby Brown. It's kind of under wraps, supposed to be like a big blockbuster type, thing going on. All right. You have 5 o'clock. Peacock presents Satanic Panic Horror Thriller Hysteria. Okay. Your guess is as good as mine. Just never spooky season, 5 o'clock. Okay. We continue. We have at 6:30 passenger screening and panel. Looks like it's a BritBox dark humor original mystery. Okay, along with the leads are going to be there and the writer. Okay, if that's part of that's your bag, rock on. Outlander season 7 part 2 preview. 6:30 Empire stage. Fans of Outlander, there you go. All right, and at 8:30, which is probably one of the last ones, Adult Swim's Night of New screening. Okay. It's a new returning series. Don't know. Okay. So moving on. Do any of those tickle your fancy, Rocco?
No, there's quite a number of them that do tickle my fancy. Later I have a list of some of the big names and when they have their autograph signing sessions and whatnot. But to piggyback on that, there's a few discussions for anybody interested on Thursday, October 17. Obviously, 12:30 in room 1B02. Keep bands off our books. At 6:30, room 1B02. Authors reading bad reviews.
That's
8 p.m. I know. 8 p.m. 1B02 from page to screen. Authors on adaptation. So all of you aspiring screenwriters and writers out there, you might want to check that out. Friday, putting horror and crime in comics. Right up our alley. 1:30 p.m. room 4062. Same thing on Friday. Spotlight on Tegan and Sarah, the Tilly Walden Grammy nominations to them. 3:30 on room, same room. What B1, B2. All right, Saturday, there's obviously another book thing. This is a budding subdivision, LGBTQ community and romances in science fiction and fantasy. That's in same room, 1B02. That's 10:30. World of Romance. There's a whole bunch of romance, which is good. I'm plugging, waiting to be written because it
Rock
starts.
Rock is taking he's talking about the book stuff and everything. I was taking the comic movies and TV, and there's a bunch of other. There's saber training. They teach you how to do how to play D&D. There's a bunch of queer panels. There's pretty much something for everyone, especially if you had horror. There's a lot of horror. There's a lot of LGBT stuff, and there's a lot of book stuff this year.
I
Okay.
want to revisit quickly some of the free stuff. So again, like I said before, Bad Idea Comics. This is Thursday, 3 o'clock, Friday, 3 o'clock, Saturday, Sunday, noon. Okay, and they are in room 408. Okay, they have panel discussions, they have free merch from Planet Death, and a few of their other lines. But again, free merch. And for all you guys, how hardcore, New York City hardcore fans, Run DMC, Daryl McDaniel, he is giving away free merch too. He has his comic book line, right? He's trying to reach out to the youth and kids of foster kids and kid rights and kids who are abused. And he turns them into good comic books that are kind of positive. And he will be there Friday between 5:45 and 6:45 in room 4062. If you are hardcore fans, if you love your Run DMC, if you like his comic book line, please go check them out. And he also will have some free merch.
Okay, now getting back to, we'll do a quickie. Friday, 11 a.m., Nickelodeon SpongeBob SquarePants 25th anniversary celebration on the Empire Stage. You can bring your Krabby Patty from Wendy's and eat it at the stage.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. God, I love me some SpongeBob.
All right. Unfortunately, at the same time, 11 a.m. on the main stage, Lord of the Rings, The War of the, I apologize, Rohirrim. All right. So I do believe
that's the way to say it.
I think it's animated, I do believe, right? Coming up. Now, for all you comic book creators, there's critical context and copyrights for the comic book creator, room 1C03, 11:15. At 12:30, something right up our alley. Enter the Slaughterverse, the legacy of something is killing the children. At 12:30, in room 401. Now, be advised, we all know we already reviewed this comic. It's fantastic. The series is coming on Netflix.
On Netflix, we're waiting. We're waiting for the live action. Let's go already.
Also at 12:30, this is a late edition. The cast of Red Dead Redemption, all the voice actors will be there in room 405. Okay.
Hell yeah.
Now, 12:45, Patrick McDonald conversation with Matt Groening. Obviously, for all he's with the creator of The Simpsons, Futurama. So if that's up your alley, rock on. Now, for all those who were lucky enough to get an opportunity to get a signature from this legendary creator, Todd McFarlane autographing session as at 1:45. Okay.
That line will be bananas.
Yeah, but it's capped because by the time, because it was the essential email, by the time it came through, it was already sold out. So they had it full, but it shouldn't be that nuts. The franchise event screening and panel at 2 o'clock, room 405. That's already, I think the first episode already showed. They already showed the first episode. I think it's on HBO/Max. Okay. For all those musical movie zombie fans, Bear McCready, musical world building. He'll be on the main stage at 2:30. He made all the music for Walking Dead. So there you go. Also at 2:30, damn, a lot of these they cross each other. Blumfest.
You gotta pick.
Blumfest, NYCC at 2:30. We all know Blumhouse. They are one of the top horror makers right now.
Blood and guts.
They're going to be showing some of their stuff. They 15th anniversary. It's going to be big. World premiere trailer for Wolfman. Looking at footage of Chris Melendez's Drop and The Woman in the Yard and Megan 2.0. So should be good. All right, 3:30, Adult Swim's Lazarus sneak peek and Q&A. Awesome. Now, all you fans of The Breakfast Club, the morning show, and Charlemagne the God presents Illuminati. Hip hop and comics collide in a new AWA series at 3:45, 1CO3. As the aforementioned Absolute Universe, finally we get a DC thing. DC's Absolute All in Universes at 4 o'clock in room 406.2. At 4:15, Prime Video's Cross. Yes, we have another iteration version of Cross. This is gonna be a series. This stars Aldous Hodge, so who will be there, but again, you can see them, can't touch, no autographs or anything. Okay. For everyone who cares and who's a big fan of the FX show, What We Do in the Shadows, moderated Q&A and exclusive
Great
advance.
show.
The bats are back. Okay.
Great show. Great show.
Might be the last season. So, that's on the Empire stage. That's at 4:45. We have School Spirits from 5 to 6 at 4:09. That's the show while the kids are all dead and they're ghosts in Paramount Plus with the chick from Cobra Kai, the bad one.
Yeah.
Again, since you can't get the autograph from Todd, you can hear him talk, and all of his egomaniac, discusses comics and animation and toys in room 406.1. Rocka mentioned about Daryl makes comics, discusses comic books and animation, room 406.2 or 5:45. And I made a mistake. It wasn't Saturday, it's Friday. We get the Walking Dead universe, the Walking Dead Dead City, the Walking Dead Daryl Dixon, the Book of Carol. Okay. Norman Reedus, Melissa McBride, Scott Gimple, Greg Nicotero, Lauren Cohan, Dasha Polanco, the bad guy with the ear, and will be there from 6 to 8 at the main stage. That should be a nice one. So,
That's gonna be, I hope, re-inject the Walking Dead.
That's the whole odds will be in your favor. All right. To get into that one. All right. We have Lumina, the crossroads of sci-fi and horror. Not sure what this is, but hey.
If it grabs you, go.
Looks like it's a series talking about Eric Roberts will be there. So, hey, check it out. All right. At 7 o'clock, you have Sony Pictures panel and footage on the Empire stage. Now, it's been confirmed it will be Craven. They'll show Craven, footage of Craven, Venom, and the other one. Oh, boy. I had it before. Oh, Karate Kid Legends. No comment. I have no idea. Karate Kid Legends, all right? So, and 8 o'clock, for all you spooky heads and horror hounds, Shudder is here to scare the shit out of you. Room 409 from 8 to 9. You have Katie Siegel will be there. Dave, I mess up his name all the time, and he's a great actor. Dave Damastichian. Oh, I messed that one up. But late night with yes. And so so they're going to State of Horror, what scares you, what you want to see, and where the horror world is going. And that's Friday. So anything makes you giddy, Raka?
Oh, all of it. It like you said, it's unfortunate that things will overlap and you have to pick and choose, but such as like the Illuminati stage. How many questions do you think are not going to be of Diddy?
That's going to be interesting, man. I mean, well, no Charlemagne the God. I mean, he might just automatically from jump might just say, you know what, no Diddy questions. No, let's keep it. And look, that could be interesting because if he brings his own little insight from that world, not to mention he's always been a huge comic book fan. So I'm always kind of weary when you have someone from the entertainment industry come into comics because I always have I hate to say it, kind of a gatekeeper type of thing that maybe they won't know or they won't be as good. But hey, a fan is a fan is a fan is a fan. We're all fans. Let's go.
It's good and bad. They bring star power. They could be hardcore comic book heads. You never know. I understand what you're saying because they're from a different angle. They're from a different cut. They might not always be detached from what the regular comic book fan is into and what floats our boat. But then you have something like Keanu Reeves, who behind Berserker, which I thought was fantastic. Again, you don't know how much input they have. They could be running it, they could be funding it, they could be just a name piggybacking attached to it to promote it. But I see what you're saying with that.
Well, the
Um,
record, I spoke to Matt Kind, the creator, and Keanu actually has lots of input and he's actually in on every script. And when they actually mentioned make the show, obviously you see the book, it's him. He'll be heavily involved as well.
they make anywhere half the half faithful to the comic book source material, it would be ridiculous. It'd be ridiculous. I mean, anybody who hasn't collected or looked at Berserker, I mean, he's ancient, can't die, and as bloody and vicious as these assaults are, and of course, there's the dark past and the whole thing, yada yada yada.
An immortal John Wick, but worse, I guess.
Yeah, so much worse. So much worse.
John Wick
Uh,
doesn't hurt anyone unless he has to. Now, Saturday, for all who do not know, is usually the biggest day where supposedly you have the biggest panels, the biggest star attraction, the most people. People are off. So,
dude, it's sold out like the first day.
yes, it's the first thing that sells out besides the VIP and the 4 day. Saturday it sells out. It sells out.
And
So
actually, last check, there's a few tickets on sale still available for Thursday.
and
And yeah, and somebody I know also just yesterday got tickets for Sunday. So I was like, oh, okay. So anybody out there, there's still hope. If you want to attend any of those days, those dates are still available. It's not this year, right? It's coming up that they're going to expand it to 5 days. Retailer Day on Wednesday or something.
you know what? It's a good question. I'm not sure. I'm not sure
And I'm
because
not sure exactly what Retailer Day has, what it means and what it expands to, but that has been floated out there.
it'll
Um,
be an advanced screening, like the retail. I mean, it could help the comic book fans and the people who aren't there for the media because the retailers, sometimes I hate to say it, they're the ones who kind of make it difficult for the fans because they're fans themselves and also they want to make a profit. So they get in the lines, they buy the stuff, and they kind of take away a lot of or take up a lot of time from the creators. So if they can do their stuff on a Wednesday where it doesn't affect the actual comic book fans and the purchasers, then yeah, the consumers, we mean rock on.
all right,
So
so real quickly, I'm just going to, as quick as I can, and this has been a rapid fire, real rapid fire. These are some big names. If you do want to drop some coin and get autographs and photos with these celebrities,
go for it.
Elizabeth Olsen, Paul Bettany, David Harbour, Ella Purnell, which my God, she is kicking ass all over the planet these days. Walton Goggins, she's he's he's underrated. I mean, God damn. Kyle McLaughlin, Mads Milkinson. Yeah, Mads is going to be there, and he's been in quite a number of good things. Haley Atwater, John Boyega, Josh Brolin, like you mentioned, Andy Serkis, Orlando Bloom,
Hmm.
Brian Cox. Oh God, he's been a while legend. Colin Farrell, like you said, in Penguin, which I think is up there for best performance of 24.
I'm pretty sure
Uh,
they both don't win at least nominated. It's Travis Steele. But
he's he's putting on a master class. That's October 3rd. He will be there. Jason Segel and okay, Kevin Smith will be there.
yes, actually, you have the whole cast of you have Kevin Smith, you have Jason Mewes, you have also oh boy, my name is Earl. Jason Lee will also be there. So yeah.
Yes. Wow. In hindsight, we have all this research, guys, and we want to bring it to you. This is going to kick ass. This is mega. And we haven't even got into some of the minutia of it, which, again, this is more for novice and first timers. It's spread out in a layout where there are gamers over here, anime over there. I mean, gamers, if you're hardcore, there's a whole section you can sit down.
This year they actually dedicated a whole area to gaming. What they did was they eliminated, there used to be a section where it was called the block, where they had a lot of independent and kind of local talent, or retailers and of stuff, which kind of in recent years was overpopulated with just more of the floor. So they kind of eliminated that. You have some will still be there. They eliminated that. They condensed everything, and then they gave gaming its own section, like its own huge area where you have tabletop gaming, you will have video games, and you will have card games and stuff like that. Now, I like to go quickly through Saturday, and so everyone can see exactly what will be there. So let's get with that. All right, comics. Joe Quesada, amazing Q&A. Joe Quesada used to be head of Marvel Comics for a while. Great artist. Room 408, 1030. The Simpsons, 11:30 to 12:30 main stage. Enough said, Simpsons.
If you want to get your predictions for everything that's happening in the world.
Okay, 12:30, Inside the Haunting World of the Fall of the House of Usher, panel Mike Flanagan and cast. You see Carlo Gugino.
Mike Flanagan, that man kicks so much ass.
The whole cast will be there, so that should be good. Room 405. All right. Then we move on. We go The Dragon Prince season 7 and Saga's next arc at room 406.1, 145. The aforementioned Jim Lee and friends. Not sure who friends will be, but room 409. What Are You Afraid of? An Indie Horror Comics Roundtable, room 1C03. So that's up your alley. This is one of the bigger Marvel ones. Marvel Fanfare with CB Cebulski. Well, he speaks about everything about Marvel and what's upcoming. Okay, Star Trek Universe, 2:30 to 4, the Empire Stage. They're going to talk about Lower Decks, Star Trek Section 31, and more. Exciting reveals and surprises for fans in attendance that you will not want to miss. Okay?
Oh, you Trekkies, Trekheads. Trek guy.
Rocka's been mentioning it for a while, which I hope they give us something. Bad Idea. The NYCC panel from 3 to 4, room 408. That's, Matt Kinn and a cast of a bunch of people. Okay. Derek Kolstad, creator and writer of John Wick, will be there. And, moving on, exploring Faerun, behind the scenes of Baldur's Gate 3. All you video game heads, that's up to you. It's up in your alley. You have a lot of the voice actors will be there. That's on the main stage at 3 o'clock. George Lucas Talk Show, 406.2, 315. Enough said. Ghosts, if you like that show, at the main stage, 4:45 to 5:45. You're gonna have some of the actors and some of the creators will be there. Okay. Gundam, Requiem for Vengeance, rock up. 1CO3 at 45.
You're telling some old school anime. Still good.
This is right up Rocco's alley. Max Original Animation presents Creature Commandos, 4:45 to 5:45 at the main stage.
This is the first big push of the new DCU.
You're gonna have a lot of people on that stage. Obviously, you can't touch and or get autographs. You have Frank Grillo, Sean Gunn, David Harbour, Zoe Chow. You're gonna have James Gunn, Alan Tudyk, Maria Baklakova. All right, so that'll be big.
Use your heads, people. James Gunn is going to hit every topic. He doesn't shy away from everything. Just use your heads, be calm, and you're enthusiastic, but you'll enjoy yourself.
At 5 o'clock, also in room 405, Sweet Pea screening and Q&A with Ella Purnell. I saw the first episode, freaking great, has that U vibe, but not. It's based off a book called Sweet Pea, which is pretty good as well. She'll be there for an hour. So Q&A. If you're about the toys, Diamond Select and Gentle Giant will be there 5:15. That's professional programming. Forget I mentioned that. You got to do that before. All right, Godzilla versus NYCC, 70 years of King of Monsters, 409. That's at 6:15. Okay. Prime Video Secret Level at room 405 is an animated anthology featuring 15 original shorts set within the worlds of some of the most beloved video games. Could be interesting. Okay. And I do believe that's it. We have Square Enix manga and books announcements panel. So that's supernatural action showdowns, spicy rom-coms, enthralling dramas, and cover and unforgettable stories of sweet Square Enix manga and books. And that is Saturday, which, to be honest, is a little bit lacking to do for me. Normally, you would have the Walking Dead panel, you would have the major panels, a show, a movie. Interject one thing. The issue with NYCC is because it's in the fall. Most of the shows are filming, okay? And it's in the East Coast. New York Comic Con, San Diego Comic Con, the quote unquote biggest. They're right there in San Diego. So even if they're during filming or whatever, just take a half-hour flight, okay?
Or
And
a 5-hour drive in traffic.
Yeah, when you show up, and another thing, do not forget, NYCC does not pay for guests. They're
Volunteer.
exactly,
They're promoting.
not for profit, whatever organization. And for all my knowledge, the only guest that they've paid was Mark Hamill a couple of years ago, and I think they paid him $1 million. Don't quote me on that, but I did hear that in the circles. Okay, so that's why you see a lot of people, and it's funny. You have Colin Farrell will be there. He's announced as a guest. Don't let that fool you. They'll be there at the panel. They will not be doing autographs or signings or pictures. They're there in the capacity for HBO, for Max, for DC. They are not there at New York Comic Con, meaning they're being paid to be there by the company. It's an obligation in association with what they're filming, as opposed to showing up.
Yes, they're contractually bound.
Exactly. So if you catch them walking around, good luck, rock on.
It has happened before where a lot of stars will get into makeup and cosplay and mingle about with people.
Wear masks. I've seen stories and pictures and videos where they walk around unnoticed, and you find out, oh, it's Daredevil, oh, it's Jared Leto, oh, it's this person, oh, it's freaking whomever.
All right, so I think you pretty much covered all the big highlights and all the heavy hitters. So we're going to end it, I think, with a little quick segue into, this is the expanded but quick version of Survival Guide. Izzy will give you a quick, quick reference guide on our social media, but it's a big event. Now, as of last year, security was tightened, but at the same time, it was easier to come in and out security-wise. They did not have an issue when we brought in our own food and drink. So that was a plus because it's mad expensive in there. So I'm just giving, if it's the same, I'm just giving you little tips because you don't want to drop $50 at Comic-Con. In the front area facing, what was it, 8th Avenue? That's where you're going to find a lot of cosplay. That is a showcase area. It could be a possible, but not the only meetup areas. If you have like a Marvel meetup, Teenage Mutant meetup, anime meetup, any meetups, and you should be following these people to find out what time you're going to have these meetups, and you have like 100 people taking a photo, you can go and hang out with people of the same ilk. So you have those meetups. There's plenty of restrooms, and I would suggest go to the lower levels.
Yep.
Because that is the best. The upper level, you will stand in line. I'm sorry, ladies, you will stand a long time.
Go to the back. Also, like on the show floor.
Yes. And there's all gender bathrooms too. So
Yes.
you have that. There is food all over the place, but again, it's serious coin. I'm not sure that's worth it.
In the entrance at the, as Rocka mentioned, at the Crystal Pavilion, you have the roadway where all the cosplayers are at. You have a bunch of food trucks out there. You also have freaking a couple, the hot dog guy outside. You also on your way coming to Jacob Javits. There's delis. There's other things that you can get as well.
Usually, the perimeter of the main floor will have all the food. So you can have popcorn, sushi. You're gonna have an array of different foods, especially if you're coming in from other places of the country. And yeah, you are getting New York experience condensed into one. It's a lot of people, so it got better. But please be mindful of your stuff, your
Yes,
cell phone, your keys, your money,
it's still
all that
New York,
stuff.
and people.
There's a cosplay first aid center. There's a couple of them. If you need a repair for your stuff, usually they're free. I would tip these guys. I would say nice things to them. And again, have a great time. If you lose each other, please find a common meeting place, an emergency meeting place, because sometimes cell phone is spotty in there. So I'm just giving you a heads up. Just plan it out with your friends and the people you're going with. Should we get split up, please meet here, or at 9 o'clock meet up there. But again, it's a big place. You just want to be aware about it. And just as a common courtesy thing, be respectful for everyone. Ask them kindly if you want to take pictures with them. Make it a good experience back and forth. And of course, the last thing I would like to say is the artist alleys in the basement and a lot of independent booths are all around. Please support them. Give them your ear. Please don't be rude. Just give them a few minutes. Let them talk to you. See their stuff. And enjoy yourselves and enjoy them. They worked really hard and paid a lot of money for the table. They have all these creativity going through their head. It takes a lot of guts and a lot of resources and sacrifices to go make that venture and have their table and try to move and expose their creativity.
And who
So,
knows?
and that's all about, right? Good spirit. Enjoy yourself.
Who knows? You might find your new favorite book. So
Yeah, get a sign. First editions. You never know.
all
Okay.
right, a quickie survival guide, very quick. Rocka mentioned a bunch of good stuff. So obviously, this is that I'll do another one on other accounts, whatever. Always do not forget your badge. Okay, have it activated. Okay, have it activated. All right. So also, if you're a comic book, you're collecting comic books, or you're picking up any comic books, get a folio. Okay, something simple like this. All right, just I got this on Amazon. It was fairly inexpensive. Okay, this probably holds around maybe 10 to whatever comic books. Okay, which you put them inside, like get a comic, put it inside, and like so. Also, if you want to get stuff signed and or drawn by creators at Artist Alley, you can get a blank. Or you can get something from their table. All right. Always. And if you're collecting books or whatever, you're gonna buy books that don't have, always bring extra bags and boards. Bring a book bag, a school bag, a tote. Some booths also give out free swag. So pick it up. I mean, obviously, bring extra batteries or battery. Okay.
For sure. 100%.
They do have outlets and whatever, but it's limited, and that's you don't want to be stuck to the wall sitting when you could be enjoying the con. All right. If you're gonna get pictures, books, or prints, there you go. You're gonna need one of these probably to keep it encapsulated and keep it nice. All
Yeah,
right.
you buy it mint, keep it mint.
Exactly. So you're gonna have some sellers there called Hot Flips who have all this stuff. Very good. Always, please, please. And this is one I hate to say this, we're all adults here, but please shower and wear deodorant. And heck, bring some extra deodorant just in case.
I believe there's a story behind that.
Right. There's a lot of people there. Sometimes you get a headache. If you want, you could bring some aspirin and or Tylenol. Okay. Also, as Rocka mentioned about food and drink, you could bring water, and if you want to bring something else, you could bring something else. That's what I'm gonna say. All right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Look. You want a snack or you want something to keep you refreshed?
Exactly. Now this is for a little probably expert level. If you want to collect prints and artwork, you could bring one of these. But I mean, or definitely get one of these afterwards to collect some of. See, this is all stuff I collected in several years at different conventions. Okay, so yeah, that's obviously if you want, bring also markers to get autographs and or signatures, and that's quickly off the top of my head stuff that you should do have and whatever. But please be mindful. It's New York City. So we love our city. We're locals, but if you're from somewhere else, always, be vigilant, and just your surroundings. When you leave the con, don't get anything. If they offer you these CDs, don't pick them up because they will want money for them, and you don't want to get into the whole thing. It's not free. It's a scam. Don't do that. All right, don't do that. Okay, so just go, boom, have a great time, and enjoy NYCC 2024.
And if you're looking for an afterlife, there's as you leave towards the evening, trust me, there's be 1,000 handouts and cards or whatever for an after party, a meetup party, and stuff like that. I encourage you to go, continue the con, continue experiences. You're just gonna have a great time, experience the city. But same time, be mindful, be smart, watch your drinks, and watch where you go. Please go with groups.
Yeah. Also, yeah, no, yeah. You can also go to the Sonic Boombox. There's a bunch of different sexy nerds. There's a bunch of different after hour party, and there's also which I didn't mention. There's after hours at NYCC,
Yeah.
which there's karaoke. There's a bunch of other stuff where they'll stay for a couple hours and you can enjoy. And the big things, whatever time you get there, you're getting there with like-minded people. Enjoy it, make
Geek
friends,
out.
and geek out. Exactly. Now, I didn't mention Sunday. I'll put that in the comments for some highlights for Sunday. So, but
Sunday traditionally is also a family day, kids' day. So the only other thing I'd add on with Sunday is if you're a real bargain hunter,
mhm.
usually a lot of exhibits and stuff, they want to just clear their merch instead of bring it back and lug it back. You might get some 2-for-1 sales. You might some discount sales, a must sell, must get rid of merch sell. I mean, you could get some of those. But we be wary both ends of the spectrum. There's going to be a lot of kids there more than normal. So
Mhm. A lot of
whatever
strollers.
that means to you, yes, a lot of strollers, maybe a few crying babies, but and also safety. If you are families over there, more than ever, meetups, track them, whatever you need to do because it's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Um, I think that's about sums it up. What do you think?
yeah, I mean, look, we'll be there. We'll have our swag on. So if you see us, say what's up, take a pic, and get some free swag.
I might be the only one, but I'm going as Ringo, the sidekick of Blue Eyed Samurai, on Friday. And I'll also be wearing an obscene large Dead Air Dudes icon symbol, either a hat or some merch. I also have some other Dead Air Dudes merch, few hats, some bookmarkers and stickers and giveaways. Listen, we have our podcast. You guys have helped us reach well over 10,000 downloads. Um, our YouTube channel has exploded into more than we expected, 5,000 plus, going on to six. And of course, we're moving on other social media, TikTok, Instagram, and whatnot. Um, we're not there unless you guys are supporting us and listening to us. And we thank you for that. And we'd like to reward you that. And we'd like to experience the con with you. Be on the lookout after the con. Probably a week from this date, we'll have a recap, a happy recap, and hit you with all things. And again, on shameless plug, we are running our 31 days of Halloween. We're reviewing a horror movie each day. Maybe that's a resource for you to get into the Halloween spirit.
Exactly. Also, one last thing. A lot of the stuff that we mentioned, you can also download the NYCC app. Make sure it's 2024. It's free. You can get all the stuff, and you can also kind of sync it with your itinerary. and it'll facilitate a lot of things. Okay, we're not sponsored, not yet, but yeah, enjoy it. I'm Izzy.
I'm Raka. Have a safe and happy con. Hope to see you there. Remember to always, always save the whales.
Take care, everybody.